to episode 3 of 2EpicNerds. 2EpicNerds, third episode. 3 topics. We take the topics and we kill them. We brutally kill them. We talk about them.
If we don't do it, then Ruby's gonna do it.
Then Ruby's gonna do it. What's up? What's up? So yes, that's what we're gonna do. We have our 3 topics today, and the first one is whatever.
All right, so today, well, the day we're recording is May 4th, which is
May the 4th be with you, by the way.
Exactly. For Star Wars fans out there.
It's like a telescoping thing, right? I mean, like kind of like the old flicky ones, but it comes out by itself.
Yeah, like you see her, she's doing the stance, and she presses a button, and you see the lightsaber retract out. My first initial thought, which is a stupid thought, is okay, so what is this? Like an actual like light that's gonna like burn hotter than anything and just cut? That's the first thing I thought about, but I'm like, stop being stupid.
Because I would always think about like, okay, how would they make a real lightsaber? How would they make a flashlight that only goes out yay far, cuts through steel? Like, how would they actually make that?
Yeah, and make it legal to have at cons and stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God.
They said that they're gonna have it. It's gonna be at Disney World. So if you live in Florida, you guys are very fortunate. You guys are gonna be getting that. They said 2022 is when they're going to be releasing that attraction. Where and I know you can build your own lightsaber, but I don't know. But if you can like build or like put like a crystal in there or some kind of like color to like change the.
Of course, they didn't have a retail price on there, did they?
Of course not, because it'd be ridiculous.
Oh my God, I see this thing being, I guess depending on what model you get, because I wonder if they're going to make a Darth Maul.
Ooh, yeah, because they do have different model lightsabers out there.
Yeah, they have the, of course, the Darth Maul two blades. Then the different handles, because you got like that bit handle that like Dooku used.
Yeah.
For some reason, that doesn't, it never really made sense to me. Yeah. I mean, I will never have one because I'm sure they're like $2,000. But because before that, like as far as lightsaber collecting goes, it wasn't like the Black Series that made the really nice ones that had the hilt and then had the long like light bar that you just kind of plugged into it, and that's what made it light up.
When I used to work at Toys R Us, we had a couple of those. We had to keep them in the back because they cost a lot. So they would ask me, hey, someone wants the lightsaber, and I'll always ask them which one, and they're like, oh, they want the actual one. So I have to go back and go get it. They were like yay big. They were pretty big.
Yeah. How much did they go for?
They were pretty pricey. I want to say around like 200 to 250 maybe, or maybe 150 to 200 maybe.
Okay, it could be any of that, because like I heard when you were like that's 250. I was thinking maybe like 100, but
yeah, I'm trying to be reasonable, depend on which one it was, but I don't know. I think it was around there, but I think it's cool that a lot of fans are going to be really happy about that.
Oh, totally, especially if they're not like if they can do that and have the duels with them. People put a lot of time in practicing how to actually authentically do a Jedi battle duel.
And it also accounts the weight. How heavy will it be too if they're going to have that kind of retractable technology in it? What's the weight gonna feel like?
Yeah, because a lot of the weight's going to be in the hilt, but once it comes out, it's going to be lighter. That's interesting, and also it's cool. It's cool to have one that comes out by itself and lights up, but what is the durability of that? Like, are they going to come out and say, hey, this isn't for your play fights, adults?
They didn't give us much. All they said was we're getting a retractable lightsaber. 2022 Disney World. That's really it. That's all we got.
Is it only in Disney World? What about Disneyland?
Yep. No, they said for what I read, all I saw was Disney World 2022. I didn't see any other parks besides Disney World. They get everything. Disney World gets everything.
That's the only one I've been to. Of course, I'd live closer to that. I've never been.
I never.
You go to Disneyland?
I've been to Disneyland, because I'm in Cali, so that's where it's at. But I've never been to Disney World. As many times, we've been to Florida, but we've always went to Universal. And then what was that Island of Adventure out there when we but that's it.
Adventure Island.
Adventure Island. Yes.
Get it right. It's great. Like I loved it. I've been there once. Went to Universal. They didn't have like the Harry Potter thing or anything. Is that at Universal?
Yes.
The Harry Potter thing. Okay, yeah. It was before that. It was just before that, and they had just taken down the. Was it
E.T.?
the?
I think it was E.T.
Was it E.T.? To replace it with something.
Remember.
It was either because they used to have a Back to the Future.
I think that's what it was. I think it was Back to the Future. They did the Simpsons thing, which I was mad about because I never went on that because they took out Back to the Future. And I think they replaced that with, or Out Here, I think they replaced that with I don't know. I think they did replace it with the Simpsons ride.
That was a great time. Like I love roller coasters, and I've never been on a roller coaster like the Incredible Hulk ever before in my life.
Oh my gosh, me neither.
That was crazy.
It's so funny. I think it was a year before we actually went to Florida. I used to go on roller coasters and I would let like the velocity and the G-force just like throw me forward. So I'd be like this and like miss everything. So one day, and I never liked roller coasters because I felt that's what happened to me. So then one day we went to the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, you know, we were on it, and you know, the whole startup is like just insane, and you just get launched out and you do all stuff. And I had the the velocity and G-force had me. And my dad, whenever I have an awesome moment, my dad's always there. So my dad was next to me. He was like, lift your head up. So I lifted my head up and it was like a bright light just like beamed over me, and it was like this brand new experience which made me love roller coasters after that. It's so funny when I look back at it.
Yeah, because it's really visual. Some of them you can, some of them you just go for the ride and flop around. You don't really have to look at anything. But when it comes to something like that, the part of the experience is watching stuff around you, kind of like going on Space Mountain. You ever rode Space Mountain?
Yeah. I went on the old one where it was crappy, and I went on the new one
when it was
when it was fixed. Fixed everything.
So what are you going to do with your retractable lightsaber?
If I do get it,
yeah,
I'll mess around with it, but then it'll be sitting somewhere. I think I'll have to like frame it somewhere because I have a Keyblade, and like the first little while when I got it, I messed around with it, but then it like sits like behind me, and I just don't touch it.
Oh, I see the tip of it. I've never noticed that before.
Yeah, I'll grab it. It's this baby.
That's awesome.
I have a Keyblade. I messed around with it the first time, and then I was like, nah, just leave it there.
Yeah, I mean. Unless you're a 10-year-old that likes to swing and hit people with sticks, what are you gonna do with a cool piece like that besides hanging on your wall?
It's really cool to have. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. But then it's just like I don't have the room to play around with it. I think my cousin, he has like 3, and it's the same thing. He has them in his closet, just sitting on a rack, and he just doesn't.
No, mess with it. You got to display that stuff. But then when you become, as cool as all that is, and I would totally have one of those and I'd hang it on my wall. But when you become an adult and you start thinking about things like that, you're more into. Well, I need home protection. I need a real sword. I need a taser or something. But it's just the visual in your head of being like, you're in bed and hear a noise downstairs, and you're like, what's that? I'm gonna go investigate. And you come out swinging a Keyblade at the predator, that's in your house. Like, it's not gonna come off it's not gonna come off as very threatening at all. But
they're like, what the hell is that, man?
You probably freak them out enough to where they're like, this guy's crazy. Crazy. Excuse me.
Be a great distraction. They're so focused on that they don't see any other part of you doing anything else but looking at the thing that's in your head.
Yeah. I got attacked by this crazy Keyblade. What is it? Plastic? The plastic Keyblade?
It's foam. Like the hilt and everything's plastic, but the key part of the itself is just foam. So it wouldn't hurt too bad.
You could probably make you can make a small child cry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I would totally hang that on my wall like first thing. I don't know. I've been wanting to take a trip to Disney World for a long time, especially since my daughter, she'll be 13 this year. So we're getting to an age where it's like we need to get her there fast. Like
before she doesn't want to go there anymore.
Yeah, before she's like
you need a reason to go.
Yeah, she'll be 16, 17 and be like, hey, we're going to Disney World. She'd be like, Dad, that's not cool. But we're still in that age where we could take her and she can have a fascinating time. Before the problems that she was too young and we were worried that she wasn't going to get enough out of it. But now time has passed because time passes so very fast. Maybe I'm going to plan this out to where we go right when, that happens. So it comes out in 2022, maybe we're taking a trip to Disney World. I mean, and maybe I'll get a lightsaber or a house. I don't know.
Right.
I would love to see the retail price on that. I bet it'll shock you. It'll shock you. It'll be like $1,500.
Like either way, if it's like I'm expecting it to be really expensive and I don't even have a really expensive thing, but if it's like not that expensive, I'm going to be surprised where they go with the pricing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I would bring it straight home, maybe swing it around a couple times, and then hang it on the wall. That would be
exactly
where it stays. Just another thing I have to dust up. But I'll love it. And that's what, kind of like Ruby. I love Ruby.
Yeah.
What's up? Oh, geez. Lightsabers. That's awesome. I love it. I want one. All right. Well, let's move on to our second topic. Which is Discord on PS5.
Yes.
How is that going to work, you think? Compared to, because we're all used to it on the PC. We know how it works on the PC. It's a very valuable tool to have in this day and age. Why would Sony, instead of making their own in-house kind of communication thing amongst the consoles, go with Discord to make a console?
I think with Discord, I don't know. I was having a conversation with somebody about that. And I think it was just going to be the same. You have the Discord interface, of course, but it'll still be the same. I don't know if you build for me, I'm a part of a couple of Discord servers, so I don't know if you'll have your Discord servers on the side. I don't know if the UI is going to be the same. There's no telling because it's really simple on when Sony has it. And then you think about it, are they just going to get rid of their own in-house and just completely integrate Discord into their just as their default, and so people will just have that? Because that would make the most sense, because if anything, it wouldn't make sense to have two different applications or softwares to communicate with. So they would probably have to get rid of their old one and just completely integrate in there. But my question is, how will people feel? Like, do they feel like it'll be a lot easier to do it on console, even though they're only limited to a certain amount of stuff? Will it be better? Will they feel limited on consoles than will they do on a PC?
I feel like they will. I feel like they 100% will, because I mean, maybe all the options will be there, but some of them will be more difficult to use, especially with the controller interface. Exactly. Will they have the other servers, or will it be a PlayStation 5 kind of a dedicated, just basically communication thing? Will people be able to set up PS5 exclusive Discord servers, or is it all going to be, and these are all hypothetical questions, going to be under one thing? So if somebody's on a Discord server on PS5, can you join their server on the PC, or vice versa? Are they going to communicate together at all? Because both of the major, so other than the three major consoles, two of them have ways to video chat, talk and play games together, basically what Discord does. So I don't know why Sony would decide to scrap their thing just for the Discord name, and because I don't see it adding anything else to what they already have. I don't see it being like, because I'm thinking about all the things you can do on Discord. I'm thinking really hard right now on the fly, and I cannot think of anything that I can do or can't do on Discord that I can't already do on a console. I don't know if they're doing it for the name or if there's something more nefarious going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Because when I first heard it, my first thought was, okay, they're getting rid of their home thing, because it doesn't make sense for them to have that and then to say, yeah, we're bringing Discord over. Because then it's like, well, why don't you just integrate it and get rid of your home thing that you have already and just have Discord? And then it's funny that you bring that up with the whole, can you join a PS5 community on your PC? Sony's very stingy when it comes to users, like money wise. I don't think any other does it, but that's just Sony. They're stingy like that, and it's kind of unfortunate. So when it comes to something like that, I don't know if you'd be able to say, I don't know if I'll be able to bring this Discord account over to my my PS5, because I don't know if Sony wants something like that. They probably want their own. You have to make your own account on there, and you can only use that, which kind of sucks. 'Cause I don't want to have to add people all over again, or
Yeah.
add stuff on here again. So I don't. I
It's
know they're very stingy when it comes to their users.
And it's hard to build a Discord community, It's like you get a Discord, you spend time maybe promoting it or whatever you're using it for, getting people in there. So if you have Discord on PS5 and you can only invite PS5 people to join, what would be the point of even having the functionality in the first place? Because that's kind of what it's all about.
Right.
So if you can't do a separate server on the PS5 Discord to entice, or I don't know. I don't get it. I don't see why that should exist at all. Discord is a great app and it's good for what people use it for. But now we're going to spread it onto a console that already has something like that.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you kind of look at it from a money making standpoint. Like, someone told me a lot of people probably would, but I don't think so. Like who would re-download Discord on their PS5 if they can just easily do everything here? Like, who would do that?
Is it going to be maybe like the Twitch app? Because the Twitch app on the console, when you look down, you still have all your same followers. You still follow the same people. You can still watch the same people that you follow. It crosses over. So the only way I could see this being of benefit is if it's like that. Like if it's the same setup on console, you just use the app to access Discord and it brings all your stuff over. I don't know. It sounds sketchy to me.
It's a weird thing. Yeah, it's a weird thing.
There's somebody behind the scenes making too much money or something on this deal. Because who benefits? Who benefits from this?
Yeah.
I don't have a PS5, and if I ever did, I don't. Unless they're going to make you get Discord to use as your interface, like I wouldn't even bother with it. Discord on the PC is fine. Anytime I need it, it's there. I'm not very good at Discord. I mean, I like some of the teams that I'm a part of, and I talk to a lot of those people. But as far as checking it every day and keeping up with the conversation all the time and whatever server, it's like I don't do that. I won't look at it for a long. I've been looking at it more now than I have for the previous 2 years. So, but even though that's really interesting news, I want to know the backstory, why they're doing it. Because it just seems like a weird thing to do. It's like Twitch. Yeah, you get a Twitch app on your console. You can Twitch stream it straight from your console. Sure, it's not as cool as a capture card and going through OBS because, you got all your bits and bobs and whistles. But it's still an option you can do. If I don't buy my PlayStation 5 so I can play, what was that I was talking about earlier? That I needed.
Returnal.
Yeah. If I don't buy my PlayStation 5 to play Returnal, when this Discord app comes out for the PlayStation, you're gonna have to tell me how it is because I'm not gonna know.
Oh man.
I don't know if I love Returnal enough to go all in like that. But there's a lot of PS games that I want to play that were a few exclusives. That's the thing with consoles. It's like most of the games cross over. What would you say? Like 85, 90%. They're universal. They get released and all the consoles get them. So the 10 to 15%, that could be exclusives. Is it worth another $600 to buy another system?
Really does depends. It depends on what kind of player you are.
Okay.
I like the PS5 because it has a lot more exclusives, and a lot of those exclusives are mainly like anime type games. So and like Final Fantasy. So I would be kind of mortified if I missed out on that. But I'm fortunate to have all three of these consoles, or both the next gen, so I don't have to miss out on anything. But it just depends on what kind of, if you're really kind of just casual, not really caring about any exclusive anywhere, Xbox is always good. But if you're I always tell people, if you like anime games, Sony's the way to go. But if you're just really just looking, if you're just kind of like a console just to have all games come out, games come out for it, Xbox is either or is fine. But like for exclusives, like Sony has more exclusives than
they definitely do.
Yeah. Like Nintendo, I feel like Nintendo's most of the time is just its own world.
It is.
It's not in the realm of everything else.
It is. I agree.
But Sony has more exclusives than any than Xbox. Xbox has one or two. Sony has like all of them.
Yeah, that would be a thing. Yeah, I miss Sony sometimes. When I got the 360, signed up with the account, got the gamer tag, got the live, what is it, $60 a month or whatever. And I'm like, what am I going to do with another console? So I just decided to just focus on Xbox for whatever reason, just happenstance, really. It's not even I like this one over this one. I will never argue with somebody over, oh, you just got an Xbox, you have a PlayStation, you wussy. Some people love to argue that shit. It's like PlayStation versus Microsoft. Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, everyone has their preference. Like,
those
people who are like, Sony is better than Nintendo. Like, okay, cool. I still have my Nintendo, so what?
Yeah, there's no, unless it's just an opinion, there's no factual argument to be had there. Yeah, Discord on PlayStation 5, it'll be fine, I'm sure. I don't see it being like, not newsworthy, because obviously it's newsworthy. We're talking about it. Something that's going to change the way, Microsoft all of a sudden going, Discord, we want you too, because that shit's awesome. It just doesn't, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Got anything else to say about Discord?
No.
I don't either. It is what it is. And it's really nothing else. All right, let's go on to the big topic of this week's show. The big topic's probably going to take us a minute, but it's going to be worth it because it's awesome. It's MCU Phase 4 released their teaser trailer for all the movies they have coming out for the next 3 years.
3 years. Yes.
3 years. I mean, some of these, one especially is a movie that was supposed to come out over a year ago. Comes out in July. The Black Widow, which when it was about to come out in 2020, like what was it, May? I was super psyched. I was like, yeah, and I love the guy that plays the Red.
Yeah, what's his name? What? Like Red Star. His name's like David something, right?
David, yeah.
Because he was the officer in Stranger Things.
He is. David. God, I would know this any other time. I swear, just be like blah blah blah. Oh yeah. I don't know. Can you look that up there real quick? Who can? David Harbour.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's going to be on it. He's the Crimson, not the Crimson Dynamo. That's something else, right?
I think it's going to be Red Star.
Is it Red Star? Okay.
I think his character's going to be Red Star. I mean, I think that's who it. What is David Harbour, right? I think it's going to be. I think because I'm sort of familiar with that specific character.
I don't know if any of these people are actually related in the comic books.
I thought I've heard of Red Star before.
Well, they do exist, but I didn't know if it was really in canon that Red Star was Black Widow's father.
Right.
And then the woman that's playing the mother of the family, she's her character, and I can't remember the name, but I think she's actually a villain in Marvel canon. And then her sister becomes the Black Widow. So this might be a transition to bring the woman that's going to bring the woman that plays her sister, and I can't think of her name right now. I knew it yesterday. Into the movies as the new Black Widow. I mean, that's not been said.
Okay, that's what I was gonna bring up. Where I was just like, it's when they had a Black Widow movie, I was like, that's kind of late. But then, because I didn't even look anything up in the lore. Like, Black Widow is one of the few characters that I know little about.
Same.
And so when they killed her off in Endgame, and they had a movie, I was very confused. I was like, I don't know if this was supposed to happen already, but you guys just did it late, and I kind of get it because it was kind of hard to fit her movie anywhere right now because she's already been in every movie after Iron Man 2. She's been mentioned. So it's kind of hard to do that. Like it's hard to do Clint Hawkeye movie. It's really hard because he's already in everything, so it's hard to do that. So that's why I was like, that's kind of weird you're giving her that. But if you're trying to introduce to us that, hey, there's a new Black Widow, then I can see the relevance of it.
Yeah.
I can kind of see the timing of it too.
Yeah, I didn't really think of it that way, but yeah, that's because the movie takes place when Natasha goes into hiding after, was it Civil War?
I thought she was with. Well, yeah.
She traded sides in the middle of the movie.
Yeah. And I thought she was with Steve. That's right. She does. In the middle of the movie, she does say, well, go do whatever, and then they go off and they take off and do whatever. That's right.
Because she was with Iron Man, the Iron Man side at the beginning of the battle, and then somewhere in the middle of it helped the Captain America and them escaped.
Yeah, and
So
yeah, and then you just don't know what happened to her after that. So then this movie would fill that in a way, because at Infinity War you see her with Steve and Sam Wilson.
yeah,
So and you're kind of like, okay, what the heck? But that
and
would make sense.
they mentioned in that movie that they've all been like laying low and hiding, and so
Yeah.
this is the story of what she did in between Civil
Yeah.
War and
It's still like 4 years.
Infinity War. Yeah, something like that.
Like 4 years.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. And I've wanted to see the Taskmaster in a movie for a long time, like a live action Taskmaster. That's always been a really intriguing character to me, and
this was cool.
I think he looks good. And I'm all about the villains. I've always been more intrigued by the not necessarily the bad guys, but like a good formed villain character. You know,
No, I get it. I get it 100%. Because like once you see the hero come to life, you're like, all right, cool. Now I want to see how villains are gonna look in these movies.
Yeah.
Like it's like I want to see how the Lizard's gonna look. Okay, he looked okay.
Yeah.
I want to see how this character. I want to see
the big reveal. Like what?
Galactus. I want to see Galactus.
I do too. I do too.
So
if they don't do Galactus,
like
if they don't do Galactus right, like at some point, maybe because we'll talk about it later. Because the last thing they mentioned in that trailer is they flash up the Fantastic Four symbol. They didn't give any like information or time when the movie's supposed to come out, but they're planning it. And if that doesn't have Galactus in it, doing some cool Galactus shit with his cool Galactus hat, looking like Galactus, I'm gonna be ticked off. Because the Galactus that we got in that stupid Fantastic Four movie, Rise of the Silver Surfer, what the hell was that? Anybody who was a half-ass fan of comic books or the Marvel lore knows what Galactus looks like. And when he showed up as a big cloud or whatever, it's like the only people that are going to be even a little bit impressed by this are people who have no idea who the Fantastic Four are. And if they are those people, why are they watching this movie?
The only reason I saw that was Silver Surfer. I was a big Silver Surfer fan back then. So when Silver Surfer came out, I was like, cool. He looks cool.
Yeah, he did. He looked really good. Lawrence Fishburne voiced him, right?
Yeah. I didn't realize that until afterwards. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
So Black Widow comes out in July. July 9th, and then September is Shang-Chi, which is somebody I didn't know a whole lot about, but the trailer looks awesome. It really does.
Yeah, it does. It really does. I'm hoping he erases. This is what I was thinking about, because he's part of the who is it? He's with a certain group, but they're like in the whole Hell's Kitchen area, where like Daredevil and Luke,
the Defenders. Yeah.
I think Shang-Chi's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna be that martial arts movie that we haven't seen since Blade.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping that's gonna be, because Blade was like, and a lot of people don't realize that the Marvel movie started in way back then. It started a long time ago.
I mean, you had X-Men. X-Men came out in 2000, the first X-Men movie.
Yeah, and then I think Blade came out in 90, 95.
Did it?
The first Blade movie, I think it was like
95. Dang. Ruh-roh. Kotetsu, can you hear me? Kotetsu, can you see me? Where did he go? Did your internet kick out?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Shang-Chi, because it looks cool. Looks something that like, I don't know much about him, but it would be cool. But it's nice to see that we'll get a movie like that in the Marvel universe, which would be pretty cool.
Some of people are going to know what the outcome is of the rings, and
right,
it's not good. So
like, all I know is that Shang-Chi, I think he plays in the same realm as, I think, either the Defenders, and I think, because when you said the rings, I was like, oh, that has to play in the same realm with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, because he's the protector of the 10 rings, and the Mandarin gets the 10 rings, and he becomes like super powerful. And as far as I know, he's always had them. And once he got them, he never lost them again. So, but it's really cool. It's one of these weird decisions, kind of like probably what people thought of Guardians of the Galaxy previous to 2012 or whenever the first one of those came out. I don't even remember.
It was like 2014.
Okay.
When that came out.
I was aware of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I knew who the players were in the Guardians of the Galaxy, but I didn't really know much about it, and I didn't have much of an interest in it. But those movies are awesome.
Yeah.
Because of my man
Of
James
course.
Gunn.
Yep, I was gonna say that. Of course, because
But yeah, it's one of those outliers, you know. So a lot of people aren't going to know who Shang-Chi is, and they're not going to, even if they do know, they're not going to know much about his backstory or why they're even doing this.
yeah.
So hopefully it comes out and it's kind of has the same effect that Guardians did with everybody. Like, we love Shang-Chi now, and this could be a way for Marvel too, because you know Guardians of the Galaxy is huge now. You know, in comic books and movies, not so much previous to 2000, or up to the movie. So I guess maybe I'm trying to say that Marvel is like, well, we could pour millions of dollars into this project, and then that will boost a character. All of a sudden, a character that we've had kind of in the background that was never like a major player is going to be well known, and he's going to take off, and that will be the benefit we get from it. Because why else would they make a Shang-Chi movie?
They could have did Nova.
Yeah.
They could have did Nova, and they could have put him into the world of they could have had him with the Guardians when they fight the Atom dude with with Thor. They could have did Nova, because they mentioned the Nova Corps,
right?
So it was like, hey, Nova has to be in this movie, in this world somehow. They could have done, who else am I thinking of that was they can totally do Ironheart. There's so many other characters that they can really do that could tie into like others. But like I said, I think Shang-Chi is gonna tie in with Doctor Strange, because I think that's the kind of realm they kind of mess around with, like the magical and the mystical kind of stuff, where they're probably gonna, you probably see Shang-Chi in the next Doctor Strange.
Or maybe it's a way that he gets the rings back, because once they open up the multiverse in Marvel and the MCU, possibilities are going to be endless. They could bring back characters that have died. They can, it's like, he could lose the 10 rings, in this reality, but not in another reality. It's going to get really weird.
So the second, like you said, the second they have the multiverse, then no one stays dead.
Yeah. Yeah,
that includes villains too. No one stays dead.
Yeah. I'm from Earth 259. Well, I'm from Earth 370. Same people. It's really cool. It's a really cool theory. And Marvel has had the multiverse going on for decades. As a possibility for what you just said, for bringing back dead villains, dead heroes, stuff like that. But hopefully Shang-Chi will be good when it comes out. I'm actually excited to learn more about the character.
Same.
Because we'll talk about it later, but Doctor Strange doesn't come out until March of next year. So we're going to be waiting, a little bit less than a whole year to get to that.
Yeah.
But right after that, September, what's the month after September is October. And guess what comes out in November? You want to guess?
It's gonna be Black Panther's gonna be in November, right?
No, it's the Eternals.
Really? Oh, that's right. Yes, they did say it was Eternals. Yes. I thought Black Panther was coming out 2020,
July 2022.
Okay, July. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so we're gonna be like, once they start hitting, they're gonna start hitting like pretty fast. We're gonna get a Marvel movie every 2 or 3 months.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, because I like the cast of the Eternals. I don't know anything about the Eternals.
I've heard about them.
I've never
seen anything about them either. I know of the Eternals. Like, if someone's the Eternals, they're Marvel. But if you ask me who is in it, I was like, I have no idea who's in the Eternals. None.
I watched
it was just one of those, like you said, it's one of those groups or characters that are just like, unless they cross your path, you don't know you don't have any reason to go into it. And then, and like you said, these movies are gonna force people to be like, or the people who are Marvel fans who don't hear about these characters, like, well, who is this? And you go back and get their history and like, oh, so they did so much. Okay, cool.
Yeah. The only thing I know about them, I've heard the Eternals, since the 90s. Since I, was reading comic books. I've heard of them. I've never been in their world. I've never gotten an Eternals title. I've never even been reading a title that had a crossover with one of them. The only thing I know is that they're a group of people with powers and they live forever.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's why they're called the Eternals.
That actually makes sense.
One's like a speedster, one's really strong. Angelina Jolie's in this movie.
Yeah.
I just really don't have any idea what's going on. It's going to be good. And just like MCU does, they're going to interweave into other movies, so it'll be cool to see how they all fit together and what happens. So, none of these movies I'm not excited for, it's like, oh man, the Eternals are going to suck. It's like, it's fine. It's going to be a good movie.
I have one I'm really, really excited for that's coming out after the Eternals. I'm really excited for that one.
Is it Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yes. I'm really excited for. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I love Spider-Man. I've seen all of from the very first Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire era, to the Andrew Garfield, which I had super high hopes for. And then now we have Tom Holland, which I'm pretty excited for as well. And when I first saw that they had that little teaser thing for No Way Home, and they said this year, and I'm like, yes. And then a lot of people are saying that's when the multiverse is going to be kind of happening, because everyone who signed everyone who was in the Spider-Mans in the past are going to be in this one. And it's funny because I saw an article today saying that Andrew Garfield is downplaying, is denying he's going to be in this movie. And everyone's like, okay, you're not going to be in this movie. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the weirdest time for you to say that, but yeah. Okay.
And what else you got going on, Andrew? What else you got going on? You think they'll add a couple more Spider-Men that maybe we haven't seen, kind of like Into the Spider-Verse,
I think it'll mess people's brains up if they did that.
I don't know you.
Brains up. Like if they don't, I think if they don't just have everyone I think it will just destroy everyone. If they were to add another Spider-Man, it would be between these two Spider-Man. It would be either Miles Morales, but I don't know if they'll do it because they're doing another, he's already in a movie, or they're going to do Miguel O'Hara, who is Spider-Man 2099, which is in the future where there's already been a Spider-Man and he's gone, and that timeline, that future needs a Spider-Man. So Miguel O'Hara takes the DNA from Peter Parker and gives it to himself to give him the abilities to be Spider-Man in that realm.
Yeah, and assume that they're going to bring the Sinister Six, because you have Electro, you have the Vulture. I mean, you have Mysterio, even though, I'm going to assume he didn't actually die at the end of that movie.
Me too.
So there's 3 of them already. So, you'd have to, bring in the Rhino. Doc Ock. Yeah, the same guy that was in the Tobey Maguire movies. He signed for this movie, so he's going to be in it
too.
And he was cool. That was probably the best Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie. I think
so. 2 was awesome.
That's a pretty popular opinion. That's Spider-Man. Spider-Man, December 17th, 2021. And then we got a little bit of a lull. And then we hit March 25th, 2022 with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, this is where it's all going to happen. I have high hopes for this movie because that's what WandaVision built up to. It introduced the Darkhold, which is a huge thing in the Marvel Universe. It turns people to vampires. It brings the dead back. It does all of that. It does pretty much anything you want it to do that's horrible. That's what they've used. It's the Darkhold. That's what Wanda has now. And she's read it. So we don't know what condition she's going to be in when the movie starts. Maybe it's Doctor Strange having to kind of save her. She could be, because the Darkhold has weird effects on people, and it could drive her mad. The Multiverse of Madness.
It would make sense too, because she was in that dome and trying to keep this perfect world where she has everything she wants, but she was losing control of it. And the Darkhold can just kind of amplify that already messed up part of a losing vision to just go into something even more. And like you said, it may be, she might cause all of that. So there's just so much that they can go with that movie.
It's good stuff. So I don't know what to expect. We all know what the multiverse is. So in a way, just having it called that and knowing that it's going to have to do with the multiverse makes everybody go, I have no idea what's going to happen in this movie. We're aware of the characters, but outside of that, anything could happen, So
Exactly.
And I don't want to overblow it. I don't want to be like, oh, this could be anything. This could happen. This could happen. This could happen. This could happen. And then none of that happened,
Too much speculation.
Yeah. And then even though it's a good movie, I'm slightly disappointed because it doesn't have all the things I wanted in it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just kind of a not cool. But yeah, it could be anything. It looks good. I mean, they didn't have a lot to show from it, but another one I'm super excited for. You know, I'm looking through this list and I'm like, which one can I like hang up and not even worry about? And I'm down with all of them because, you know, we go from March into May 6, 2022 for Thor, Love and Thunder. I love. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, I feel like they're definitely giving Thor that retro love.
They absolutely are.
Like Ragnarok was definitely that kind of retro 80s style love. And then with this Thor, what was it, Love and Thunder? That's totally a 80s rock. That's like when I hear that, I'm thinking of 80s AC/DC type,
like hair metal bands. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
like, they're definitely giving Thor that love. And Chris Hemsworth does it. You know, he does it. He performs perfectly.
Oh, he has great comedic timing. He really does. I like everything he's been in. Some of my favorites is Cabin in the Woods. Ever see that?
I've seen that.
Great movie. It's a Joss Whedon movie. But Thor: Love and Thunder, you know, with Taika Waititi directing again, is going to be like a really fun palate cleanser for all the more serious stuff that's going on around it. So, but after Love and Thunder, Thor: Love and Thunder on May 6th is when we get on July 8th Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And I've heard some rumblings about it that, you know, obviously they're not replacing Chadwick. It'll be more about the characters around them. Like the movie's going to play out like T'Chaka did die of some disease or something. And so they're going to focus on the other population of Wakanda, you know, his sister, the military, all the other tribes. Yeah. And that maybe having flashbacks to a Black Panther before he passed away. So I don't know what to think about this. And then towards the end of it, what's his sister's name? His sister's name is
he is gonna be in the movie, but then they said he's not. So it's like, okay, so what are you guys doing with Black Panther, the second Black Panther movie?
They may have segments of him like in costume, you know, but they're never going to show him out of costume. And I think it's going to be either stories, flashbacks, memories, kind of a thing, because he's already going to be dead when the movie starts. I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's rumors. You know?
Yeah, because they said that he's not going to be CG'd in. First they said he was going to be in the movie, but then they said he's not going to be CG'd in. But then you're like, okay, so what do you guys do? Okay, so his sister's going to be Black Panther. Then they're like, no. So you're kind of like, okay, so like, what are you guys trying to do? Are you guys going to do what you guys did with Sam Wilson and he becomes Cap at the end? You know, it's one of those things where you don't have enough info, and it's not even like what's the plot. It's like, what are you, the studio, the film production, the company going to do with this movie you just announced that's going to be coming out next year?
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty quick too. I mean, it's tragic. It's tragic that he passed. I hate it. He was such a good actor. Did you see pictures of him just before he died?
Yeah, you know what's funny? Everyone was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And to me, I was like, something's probably going on, but it's not anybody's business to try to speculate or anything like that. And then when you find out, you're like, that makes sense. What happened? He was dealing with that. And I heard he knew about it for like 4 years.
Yeah, Marvel knew about it too. They knew that it was a possibility.
Yeah, but he was just like, I'm just gonna live my life, and he did. You know, he made great movies.
Yeah,
during that time span, great movies, including the Marvel ones, and we became Black Panther. He made great movies. But yeah, I'm interested to see how they do this movie. Very interested to see how they do Black Panther.
Yeah, me too. Like you said, there's not a lot of information out there to even speculate. That what I've said is just like something that I read months ago. You know, like no, they're not going to. Is her name Shida? No, that's not it. It's a Japanese wrestler.
It's pronounced. It's spelled Shuri. That's how it's spelled. It's so like
Shui? No.
Yeah. In a way, but you have to like hit the R, so it's like
Shuri.
Shuri.
Something it's close to that.
Yeah, it's like Shuri. It's pronounced different ways, but in a way, it sounds more like Shuri.
That's what I've always called. Now that you say that, Shuri is what I. If it's pronounced something else, I don't know it. But that's what I know, Shuri. And I think they should make her Black Panther, even if it's just for the franchise to carry on and bring her into other movies. Like, so they could have this movie and it be kind of like a telltale of, you know, the Black Panther, kind of a memorandum to Chadwick Boseman, you know, to not replace him and not really have the character in the movie. But I don't know what they're going to do. But to have Shuri take on the role, so at the end, but then we'll see her in other movies in Phase 4 going forward, like whatever the big climax is. Which, you know, because this is Phase 4. So it took Phase 1, 2, and 3 to build up to the Infinity War and Endgame. We don't know. We don't know.
We don't.
Okay, and then after Black Panther, which, you know, we just don't know. No. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
The Marvels. That comes out in November of 22 of next year. So this movie is going to be a team up of Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel.
That's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Because they already have a show lined up for Miss Marvel. They already have leaked shots of Miss Marvel already. And Miss Marvel is a fangirl of all Marvel heroes, and her biggest hero is Captain Marvel.
Yep.
So for them to team up like that is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be really cool. I can't wait for that.
Yeah. That, and one I wasn't expecting. When I watched the teaser, I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing that we were going to do. Not that I make any decisions for Marvel, but
I didn't see that. I was watching it when you were talking about the Eternals, and I pulled up the trailer. I didn't see the Marvels on there. Maybe I blinked and I just didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot. There's like a shot of Captain Marvel.
The title.
There's the title, and then I think a shot of Captain Marvel flying, and then I think that's it.
Let me see. Okay, there's Black Panther. Oh, yep. There it is. That's cool.
Yeah.
And that's funny because the S is Miss Marvel's. And you know what's crazy? Captain Marvel has 2 outfits, but they only display one of them. And the S is the inspiration from the first one, which is like the black with the lightning on.
With the red belt thing. Yeah. Yeah, because that was the original Miss Marvel before, you know, it was Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was a dude, like back in the
That's right.
60s or 70s. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And then
that is right.
And then Carol Danvers wasn't the first female Captain Marvel. There was somebody else before her. Who was it?
That's right.
Oh, it was Rambeau, Maria Rambeau from WandaVision and Captain Marvel. She was the daughter in Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
And then in WandaVision, she was a full-fledged agent, Maria Rambeau, and she was the first female Captain Marvel before it was Carol Danvers.
How are they going to swing that, though? Because then...
No idea. Because
they're saying now that she has her powers, people are speculating she's going to be in the next Captain Marvel.
She is, but she's not going to be Captain Marvel. She's going to be Solar, a character called Solar. But she's been she's had a couple of mantles over the years, Maria Rambeau has. But her biggest one was Solar. I think it's Solar. I think that's how they call it. And considering what her powers were in WandaVision, that really looks like that's where they're going to go. You know, so, you know, that's another character, you know, maybe she'll get a movie someday. But, you know, they got to kind of explain because, you know, it was implied in WandaVision that there was some kind of falling out between Maria Rambeau and Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I remember that.
So maybe this movie will explain it, or maybe it has something to do with her. Maybe she kind of blames her mom for getting cancer or something. Maybe they did something. I don't know what happened.
But I think it's going to be cool. That's going to be a cool team up there. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a surprise, kind of a shocker to me. And, you know, I did know that Miss Marvel was getting her own series, but I didn't know they were throwing her in a movie that comes out late next year. So
I'm pretty sure we'll see. We'll see it next. We'll see Miss Marvel sometime next year. I want to say beginning before we see the Marvels. That's what I'm hoping we might.
And please,
or we might see it at the end of. Maybe we might see it at the end of this year.
I don't know. There were so many promises when Disney Plus started because I'm still waiting for that She-Hulk series and the Moon Knight series that I haven't heard nothing about. The Marvels comes out November 11th of next year, and then now we're going into the future, the big future, 2023. World might not even exist in 2023.
You mentioned that too. We're talking about that before. Like you're like, yeah, the James Gunn doing again. People
Yeah,
could die.
people.
That
I am a pessimist.
like, and I thought about, it, I was like, that's so true. Like someone could pass who played in that movie, and it may be delayed even longer. So
yes.
Like, all right.
2023. In February 17th, we see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantum Mania. That sounds cool. I like that title.
It makes sense because they messed around with that realm for a little bit. And even they messed around with it more Endgame, so they might explore that a little bit more.
Yeah, it'll be cool. And I think I saw something where they revealed who the villain was, or at least, but I don't remember. Sorry, my research is lacking. But it'll be cool. But once again, it's one of these movies that we don't know a lot about because it's so far in the future, and they don't want us to know, so we don't know. We don't know. Yeah. And then so that's February, and then May comes, which is the last movie in Phase 4, possibly Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 with my man James Gunn directing. Once
I can kind of see why that would be the last one, because their villain is gonna be a test. If they thought Thanos was a problem, or if they thought Ronan or Quill's dad was a problem, they're gonna have a huge issue with this villain. A huge issue. That's why they have Thor. I think I was talking to you about that. I was like, that's why they have Thor with them when they left, because they couldn't. There was no way they're gonna fight this dude by themselves.
Who is the villain?
I forgot.
Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock. Yeah. Okay, so that's when they're finally going to bust out Adam Warlock. Okay, let me tell you something. Adam Warlock had a whole lot to do with the Infinity War and Infinity Crisis. Okay, right. So, and they had the end scene at the end of the second Guardians of the Galaxy where they had him in his little cocoon. And in the comic books, he comes out and he is not a good guy because he doesn't know anything. But then he gets separated, and so the light side of him and then the dark side of him. The dark side of him, I think, was named like Kang or something like that. No, that's Kang the Conqueror. He became a separate entity. So Adam Warlock had a lot to do with fighting Thanos and retrieving the gauntlet and fighting against him. So when they showed him at the end of Volume 2, I was like, okay, they're introducing him. In the next couple of movies, whatever they are, they can kind of maybe have more end scenes that'll bring him. Because I think they had a couple movies at least in between, before Endgame at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where they could have developed him enough to bring him in because he was supposed to be in the Infinity War. I mean, he wasn't supposed to be in the movie, but movie or comic book wise, he was supposed to be part of that. And then so that came and went, and we haven't heard another thing about it. And so,
what's crazy, because I'm reading something right now. James Gunn, before he got kicked off, he was denying that Adam Warlock was going to be a thing. But then there's an article here that was recently posted, saying that it looks like James Gunn has responded on the cast of Adam Warlock. The director is well known for discussing the kinds of stories openly social media. He offers a quick response to the point out that he points out that the film is currently not casting, that if they were interested in someone familiar like Zac Efron, he would simply approach the actor in the role. So it may look like they weren't looking at it before, but now they are. But it would make sense because they showed that Cocoon.
Yeah.
So like it wouldn't make sense. So you can't show that, and then and that's the thing though. Like when you show stuff like that to people who know the comic books, who know the series, you can't deny that. Like if they would have at the end of Infinity War, when I remember I was in the theater when I saw Infinity War, and Nick Fury hits that pager, and you see the insignia. There was me and 3 other people who screamed out Captain Marvel. People are like, who? And they're like, oh, you guys can get ready. But it's like. It's like you can't show stuff like that and be like, oh no, that's not Captain Marvel. And it's like and for like the millions of fans who know these comic books, be like, yeah, it is. You can't deny that. Like it's evident that that's Captain Marvel. It's like it's evident. Like I just saw something where you see I just looked at it now. You see the Cocoon, and then there's another comic. There's a comic strip showing that someone's like praising the Cocoon. It doesn't look golden like that, but it is a Cocoon that's structured and made just like the one in the movie. So for you to kind of say, oh, that's not Adam Warlock, and it's like, who are you trying to fool? People who don't know who the series the series is, but yeah, I think that one's gonna be crazy too.
It's gonna
Uh,
be it's gonna be Guardians of the Galaxy.
mhm.
Yeah, it'll be nuts. I love the first two movies.
And I think that's it. That's like the last movie before. I want
The
to ask, who, like, I was gonna say this too. I was gonna say maybe the dark side of Adam Warlock is going to be that climax for Phase 4.
maybe
Or you know, but they said Fantastic Four, so we don't know
yeah.
when Fantastic Four is gonna come.
They
Maybe
just
Fantastic Four is gonna be the start of five.
it.
I don't know.
That's a good question. That's a good question. They speculate that it might come out in late fall of 2023, going by the dates that these other movies are released. And
Hmm.
there's just not enough, since it's the last one, not enough footage to show like anything else but the Fantastic Four logo. I don't
Yeah.
understand what the big boner about the Fantastic Four is.
Here's what I thought it was because Thanos is gone, right? Who's the next big bad player in the universe?
Oh, Galactus.
Freaking Galactus. So I said, okay, Galactus. So they can't just bring Galactus out of nowhere. Who fights Galactus? Fantastic Four. But wait, Fantastic Four has to go through Victor Von Doom first. And Victor
Mm.
Von Doom is a universal villain. Like everyone sees Victor Von, everyone knows about the Latveria consulate or whatever that's there in New York. So that's why I was like, yo, Fantastic Four. I thought they'd be the first movie because it would easily introduce that. But yeah, that I think that's why everyone's getting crazy about Fantastic Four because the next big bad villain is Galactus, and you can't just bring Galactus out of nowhere. You have to introduce Fantastic Four before you get to Galactus. Like just like how they tease Thanos in a lot of the end of the movies, but the Guardians and the Infinity Stones, they had to somehow bring those in and then slowly bring Thanos. And then Thanos is that person who, they had to give Thanos a reference somewhere before they just brought him in. So I feel like that's what Fantastic Four is going to be. It's going to be that opener for Thanos. But I think that I want to say maybe the dark side of Adam Warlock might be that movie that brings everyone together, and
Mm-hmm.
then Fantastic Four might make their appearance in there somewhere, or something might reference to Galactus. Because Galactus is well known.
We never
Everyone
got
knows.
we never got a Thanos movie. We never got a movie of heroes that were particularly known for fighting Thanos because he was so all over the place. We were
Well,
introduced to
well,
Thanos through post-credit scenes.
well. I thought the Guardians were the ones who fought. Didn't Guardians fight Thanos?
Everybody fights Thanos.
Okay, I thought it was Guardians that fought,
I
but
mean, I'm sure they have, but I don't know if they
but
were particularly known for
Gamora.
it.
Well, yeah, that's hard because yeah, that's true.
And then there is the relation between uh,
Gamora and
Gamora and
Thanos.
Thanos.
Yeah, because I feel like they could because yeah, because of course the stones were brought in, and
Mm-hmm.
then that kind of referenced the gauntlet, and the gauntlet is only worn by Thanos. But I don't know. But going back to what I was saying, what everyone's freaking about Fantastic Four, that's what I thought. Like their next big bad villain would be Galactus. And so the only way you can kind of, get Galactus in there is by the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, yeah, but kind of like with Thanos, and you also got to remember that it took 3 phases to get to Thanos.
Yeah. Yeah, I
This is
know.
just
Yeah,
phase
I know.
4. I mean, it might be phase 6 before we have like another big climax like we had with Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And if you think about it too, like I don't know if they realized that they were going to do what they did with Avengers. So maybe they're like, okay, we got to kind of try to simplify this a little bit more. Or maybe they'll just milk it again like they did the other one. Because I think how they started with the phases with Marvel, I think it was something they didn't realize the reaction to it. So then they just kept pumping out movies, and then they kind of said, okay, the first phase was like a 5-year phase. And then the second phase wasn't too long, and then there's this one. So I don't know. I don't know. It's like we said. we don't know what Disney does, but they know what they're
Yeah, we like to think that. Because what?
doing.
Like Iron Man came out in 2007, 2008, something like that, and then the Avengers movie
Yeah.
happened in 2015. So somewhere in
Avengers
between there.
Avengers was 2012. The first Avengers movie was 2012.
Was it really?
Yeah, because I remember I was working and I ended up buying the movie.
Yeah,
for my
that makes
job.
sense.
It was like 2012, 2013, and then it was
Age of
the
Ultron.
Winter Soldier.
Oh,
I think it was the Winter Soldier. Maybe it was Age of Ultron, and then it was the Winter Soldier, and then Civil War. Because they didn't have too many after that. And then I think after Civil War, then it was Guardians and all these other movies to introduce everyone else.
just
that's pretty much what it was.
yeah, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All of them.
It was Tony and Cap getting movies, and then after Civil War, then we got Guardians, then we got Doctor Strange, then we got Ant-Man and Captain Marvel and Black Panther, because they all had a role in this last bit that they were doing. So like we can't bring them in without introducing them somehow.
Yeah, it's true.
But,
I don't know what I was thinking. 2015. That's only like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Not even.
But yeah.
Well, that takes us out to May of 2023. So that's a long time from that. That's a lot of movies, and especially in by the end of this year into next year. Well, no, it's actually the ones that come out this year. I guess maybe they're doing this super push at the beginning because there hasn't been a movie. The last MCU movie was Spider-Man: Far From Home. Which was what 2018 or something like that. Was it 19? Might have been 19.
And 19. Maybe 19. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because Endgame was like 2018, right? I don't know. This pandemic has really messed up my spatial awareness when it comes to time.
Yeah, I think Endgame was 2019, and then Far From Home was around Thanksgiving of 2019.
That might be right. Yeah.
I feel like that's the right timeline. And you're right. We haven't seen another Marvel movie. Most of them we just been getting Disney Plus stuff.
Disney Plus stuff. We were supposed to get Black Widow in 2020, and then this whole thing happened, and they had to just push everything back. It's like we would probably be getting Doctor Strange this year. If it wasn't for all that. But like July, September, November, and then December. So we're getting 4 Marvel movies this year. Even though it doesn't feel like it, but 4 movies this year. And then 4 movies next year. But they're a little bit more spaced out because they'll start at the beginning of the year, where it's like from July to December of this year. It's like there's 4 movies. Here you go. Take them. Go watch our stuff.
Here's my last thing before, because we've been going for a long time talking about this. So here's my last thing. This is like a question too. Do you think that they're going to do what they did, how HBO Max and Warner Brothers are doing theirs with their movies? Do you think that we'll hear something about that?
Well, with all of them, I don't know, but they did say the Black Widow is going to be on Premiere Access when it comes out in the theaters. So unlike HBO, they're going to charge you $30 to watch them.
That's so stupid.
But they're going to be there. So yeah, probably at least Black Widow, probably Shang-Chi, anything that comes out this year until everybody's totally vaccinated. And when people can finally get over the stigma of it, even after everybody's vaccinated, there's going to be a bunch of people that are like, I still don't want to go around a crowded place, but it's going to take them a while to get over that. And even if there's no threat or there is a threat, the fact that there are some people that aren't going to go to the movie theater is going to affect the bottom line for Disney. And that's going to affect the movie release schedule and how they're going to do it, so and until that happens, I think they'll do Premiere Access, which I think is stupid. But I mean, I know I don't want anything for free, I don't. I'm not asking for anything, we pay. I mean, okay, so true, HBO is $15 a month. Disney Plus is only $8 a month. I don't know. I mean, I would if they wanted to give me like Disney Plus Plus for $15 a month, and then all those movies, yeah, I would totally do that. I would do that right now. I would go to the website right now and sign up for that.
Yeah, I'd do it. You know, you don't have to add an additional $30. Like, you really don't. Like, your revenue is going to come from how bad people want to watch it, and in me saying that, that's why they add the 30. But I mean, more people will just put an additional what, $4 or $5 just to have access to get these premieres. You know what I mean? Like, I think you'll see more money that way. And I came up with this analogy, and it's probably stupid, but you know, it makes sense to me. I say, you know, reasonable merchants make more money, greedy ones make less.
I like it. I like it. That should be on a T-shirt.
Yeah,
or at least in some ancient tome somewhere.
And it's funny, I only came up with that because I was playing something and I was going to a player market, and I was like, why do you charge so much? No one's gonna, it was like 92 million something. I'm like, no one's gonna grind that much money to get that.
That is true.
That's why I came up with that. I said reasonable merchants make more money, greedy ones make less.
That's true. Yeah, I agree. Lord, well, that's all the movies coming out from Marvel for the next few years. That's what we got to look forward to. That was our last topic. That was really long.
Yep, we said it was going to be. We had issues while we were talking, so that added on top of that. So.
Previously, we added guidelines before where we were going to be like, we're going to spend 10-15 minutes on each topic. Here 4 hours later, minus the little glitch in the middle. Wow. Okay.
We'll make it nice for you guys.
We'll polish it up, make it good. Maybe even have some little shorts come out of this.
Oh man.
Anywho, that was episode 3. Thank you so much for watching, and we will do this again if I can survive the editing process of this one, which is fine. It's fine. But cool. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys later.